Good morning and welcome to my kitchen. Now it is half term, the school holidays, so I've got the monsters in the kitchen. Now, Halloween is upon us, so I'm pretty sure most of you have got one of these kicking around in the kitchen somewhere, or at least the insides of it once it's been carved out. So we thought we'd show you a couple of our recipes that we have in the family using up leftover pumpkins. So first of all, we're going to start with a delicious pasta dish. We're going to fry off the pumpkin. We're going to serve it up with garlic, rosemary, sage, parmesan, and walnuts. It's going to be absolutely delicious. All flavors you absolutely love, don't you? You tried pumpkin for the first time last week, didn't you, and liked it? So there you go, there's progress. Now, once we've done that pasta dish, we are going to make some lovely muffins. I'm actually going to take a step back and let this one take over the kitchen. Poppy's got an amazing banana muffin recipe. We're going to take the banana out and we're going to add roasted pumpkin in there, a little bit of ginger, and what we're going to top it with?
Sunflower seeds.
No. Oh. Pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds. So those are the two recipes for today. I hope you give them a go. They will be delicious. Now let's get started. Okay, so we're going to do pasta first, yeah? So I've got 2 pans on. I've got my little... Well, it's not little, is it? We've got the 4-litre shallow pan here. We're going to make all the pasta sauce in there. And then in this one here, take a step back, Tom. We have got a pan, the biggest pan I've got, full of boiling water. Now, Tom, I want a tablespoon of salt in there, please. So it's really important that you start with salted boiling water with pasta. So you can use a spoon, Tom. And then you know you've got a tablespoon of salt in there. I was always taught when you cook pasta, chuck it straight in, son. That's it. Good. Like your style. It needs to be as salty as seawater, okay, for me. And that, I was taught in Italy how to cook pasta. Now, we're going to use spaghetti today. It takes 9 minutes, all right? No more, no less in boiling water. So make sure, big pan, salted boiling water, and lots of water moving about. So, Pops, we are going to do spaghetti. So for our recipe, we've got 360 grams. Okay, so that works out at 90 grams per person, which I think is plenty. But if you've got a big appetite, you might bump it up to like 400, 450. Most pasta comes in a pack of 500 if you're really hungry. Okay, so that to me is a portion, all right? So I need 4 of those,
okay.
All right? And then we're going to pop them straight into the pan. Now, Thomas, what can we get you doing, eh? What do you think?
Eating.
You want to eat, do you? Yeah. We're going to have to cook before we can eat. I think that'll do, Pops. That should be fine. Right, so carefully. So I'll show you a little trick. Right, when you put the pasta in, you remember on the intro for the cookery program, do you remember what we do? We twist it like that, yeah? Okay. And then you put it in, okay? So, Thomas, you come around here because I don't want it to splash. You. So,
like that.
No, you twist it. Twist it, don't break it. Like that, and let go. Yeah? And that means all the water will get around it and bubble up, and then it doesn't get stuck to each other. Okay, so we're just going to let that boil. So we turn that up. Now, let's get this pan warming up. Now, I need a little splash of olive oil in there, Tommy. And then I want that butter in. Okay? So, say 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons while you're pouring.
1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons.
Stop. That's it. 2 tablespoons. Good way to get them going. Right, and then in with the butter. So this is going to make our sauce, okay? So it might seem like a lot of butter, but once you amalgamate it together with the ingredients and some starch water, which will make it nice and creamy, it won't seem that buttery. Now, look at these, Emily, for 2 different garlic cloves. What do you think? Look at the size difference.
Yeah,
which one are we going to use?
The big one.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. Right, let me just grab a knife.
I always find it when you've got garlic in a recipe, you always have more.
Oh, we like garlic in our house, don't we?
You can't not have garlic.
So we'll get rid of that. Right, what we're going to do is I want you, Thomas, to bash that for me with your fist like that. Yeah? Go. Come on, son. So we're just going to chop the garlic up, okay?
Oh, you can smell it all in here.
I know.
Yeah.
It's a good one, this, isn't it? Right, okay. So, in with our garlic first. So the pan's not hot yet. We're just letting it just slowly warm up. And then What I want you guys to do is when you take rosemary, it grows that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So if we turn it round the other way and push, all the leaves will come off onto there. So can you do that for me?
Yes.
So you push from there up and all the leaves will come off. That's it. Got it? So rosemary and sage are going to work really well together with the squash. They're like best friends. And they're probably, certainly in the UK, pretty much the only herbs that are growing. That and bay are really growing at the moment on what's left. So it's a good autumn combination of flavours. It's robust, it's tasty, and it just gives your dish real depth of flavour. All right, son? Right, what I'd like you to do, get me a pepper mill, the big pepper mill. Over there, that black one, the big one, that's it. And then can you put me a little bit of pepper in there? Right, excuse me, Pops. Right, I'm going to chop the rosemary, and then you can put it in.
Okay.
You two can cut the pumpkin up in a minute.
That much?
A little bit more. It's going to take lots of flavour. Because pumpkin's sweet, it needs some big flavours. Keep going.
Get those arms moving.
Tell you what, you don't stop until I say, yeah? Right, and then I've got some sage here. There's a little bit of purple and green. You don't want to use too much sage because if you overdo the sage, it's got quite a metallic flavour. So I'm just going to roll them up. Do you know what sage smells like? No. Here you go, have a smell. Smell nice?
Yeah.
Ish. I'll take ish. I'll take that.
It smells nice.
Yeah, works really well. So, that's enough, son. Right, Thomas. You give that a stir, please. Right, pasta is cooking and boiling away nicely. So, we haven't got long, because the idea is that everything all works at the same time. So, Poppy's just finished chopping the sage and the rosemary there. Now, our scooped out bits of pumpkin here. So, as the kids have carved their pumpkins, I've got them to try and carve it out generously, so I end up with bits of pumpkin left. And I'm going to get you, do you want to get yourself a small knife, Poppy, from the drawer underneath the oven? And you can finish doing this. So they're sort of tender, they're soft, but still with a little bit of bite because we want to cook them. If they're too soft, it'll just absorb the butter. So we just want little pieces about that size, Poppy, if you can. Is that all right?
Yeah.
And then while you're doing that, we're going to get some really nice, we're going to get some walnuts in. So, Thomas, in with these walnuts. All right, you give them a good stir. Okay, let's just turn the heat up a little bit. I think it's really important to get the kids in the kitchen kind of doing more. The more confident they get, the more they want to do it and the more they achieve. And I mean, Pops is only, well, she's nearly 14, so university's not that far away. So being able to cook is a really good skill. You like cooking, don't you?
Yeah.
Right, Tom, you've got to watch these, okay? You don't want to burn your nuts, all right? Do not burn your nuts.
Could you use any other nuts?
Yeah, of course you can. I mean, walnuts, I work with California walnuts, so I have an abundance of them. But walnuts, sage, rosemary, parmesan, and pumpkin and squash all work beautifully together. And you'll see them in northern Italian dishes quite often. Even a little bit of nutmeg in there is quite nice as well, just to give that extra dimension of flavour. So, are we all good? Yeah? Are we done?
Nearly.
Okay. And then what brings it all together is the parmesan and the richness of that. So, once you keep stirring those nuts, Tom, because we don't want them to burn. Walnuts will burn, so you have to be careful. You want a medium to high heat, but constantly moving and stirring them. So, by doing this, what we're doing is getting the nuttiness out of them, okay? So, Poppy, pumpkin in there, carefully so you don't splash Thomas. And then you keep stirring, Tom. So now what we've added is moisture. So it's going to start to change now. And the extra moisture that's in the pumpkin is going to release into there. So let me give it a little shake. So you like the sound of this dish, Emily?
Absolutely, yeah.
Proper autumnal dish, this, isn't it? Right, so Tom's just getting that. Right, Poppy, sprinkle half that sage and rosemary into the pan. Thomas, you keep stirring.
I think as well, it's like there's so many pumpkins that are left over.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't know what to do with it. And now you've got a dish.
Well, this is super easy. And actually, we've, in times gone by, we've done a roasted pumpkin lasagna, which is really nice. So you just cut pumpkin into slices and roast it. And instead of like a mince and like a bolognese in there, we just put layers of roasted pumpkin in there, and it's really nice. Okay, so how's that looking?
That is smelling.
Have a smell of that, you two, and tell me what it smells like. Does it smell good?
Quite herby.
Yeah? Good?
Yeah, like quite a bit.
I think that looks amazing. Okay, really important job now. To take this from garlic, walnuts, pumpkin and herbs, frying in butter, to a sauce, we need to turn it into an emulsion. And we're going to use some of this water. So Thomas, are you ready? I would like a ladle of hot water into here. So, all I'll show you what to do is just lift that up, that ladle there, put into that pan, and Poppy, just stand back while he does it. Okay? So no spaghetti, just water. That's it. Okay, in it goes. Now, look what happens. Now we've got a sauce. Okay, so the water that we've just added is full of salt and starch. The starch has come out of the pasta, and that's what's going to make it creamy without adding cream. All right, Pops, can you give me a little bit of grated parmesan in there? So there's you know those plain graters, like rather than a grater, we've got those. Can you use one of those for me?
This is smelling so good.
I'm going to just turn this down because it is ready, really. So, yeah, you start grating, and I am going to find some tongs, and I'm going to lift the pasta out in a second. Now, it's really important as well, don't pour it through a colander, because what you want to do is take some tongs and lift it into the pasta dish, all right? That's how you make good pasta dishes. Right. Okay, let me just move in next to you. Thomas has got very warm, so he has taken his jumper off and he will be back. So he's having a quick wardrobe change. Watch out. That's it. So we're just going to lift the pasta. Right, Pops, watch out. We're not going to stir it yet. You keep going, Poppy. That's it. I think this is the kind of dish you could probably do on your own if you set your mind to it, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
If I had like the recipe in front of me.
Yeah.
then
Well,
and then I would be able to do it.
on that seamless note, if you want the recipe, scan the QR code along the bottom. It'll take you to masterclass.co, the website, and you'll find the recipe there. Poppy should be logging on. Hopefully she's going to make this for me one night. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah? Right, so that's the pasta.
I don't know what I can smell more of, the walnuts, the herbs, the cheese or the pumpkin.
Right. Thomas, get your tongs and give that a little stir while Poppy's grating into there.
I'm liking the amount of parmesan cheese going into this.
Not too bad, is it?
Is there any other cheeses that you could have the same effect?
Do you know what you could... Like a really good vintage cheddar you could use if you haven't got parmesan. You want something quite strong and quite dry, because parmesan's like that because it's aged and it grates. You can also use pecorino if you can't get hold of parmesan, which is nice. But like, yeah, and some people like blue cheese. You could chuck blue cheese in there if you wanted to. All right, so what I'm going to do is, if I do this,
Nice.
look at that, Tom. How good does that smell? It is, it's because Dad's fancy pants. Right, let's get a couple of bowls for you two to try this. And then Emily's going to probably want some.
Yes, please.
All right, so where are them tongs, Sunshine? Okay, right. Poppy's off camera eating spaghetti. She's busy. Come on. Right, okay, look, how nice does that look?
That looks really good.
Does, doesn't it? Right, let's get some. So the creaminess has come just from the butter and just from the starch water. So no matter what you added, it would still be quite creamy, okay? So you could do this with, you know, bacon. You could do this with, I don't know, what could you do it with? Do it with butternut squash. You could do it with fish. All sorts of different things. So I'm going to do a little bit for you guys. You can have a taste.
Yeah.
Good.
Are we putting some parmesan on?
Yeah, absolutely.
The more parmesan, the better.
Yeah. Oh wait.
There we go. Maybe Thomas doesn't want any more parmesan, do you? No, I'll put that over there. Hang on, hang on. Emily might want a nice shot, you see. So tiny little bit of herb, not a lot. And then just to finish, if you've got a lovely bottle of extra virgin olive oil, a drizzle at the end just makes everything really nice and silky. And because you're not cooking with it, you still get the flavour. Okay, so just a tiny bit just makes it extra yummy. And then Poppy's going for more parmesan. That's it. Nice. There we go. You could do the other one as well?
Yeah.
A little bit on there. Right, let's get some forks and have a little taste. Right, here we go. There's one for you.
Thank you.
One for you, Thomas. One for Emily. When we're done. Right. You wanted this one, didn't you, with lots of parmesan on?
I love this.
No, you're going for that one? Right, I'm going to have a little taste because it looks and smells amazing. Ready? Oh. Mmm.
Good.
Is it good?
That's really good.
Yeah, well done. So, if you want the recipe for this, to make our roasted pumpkin, walnut and parmesan spaghetti, go to masterclass.co or scan the QR code underneath now and you will find all the information you need there. Next, we're going to make some of our pumpkin muffins. Okay, it's time for a little bit of role reversal. Poppy has been watching me, getting involved with me for probably well over a year now, haven't you?
Yeah.
On filming, cooking, getting stuck in, and she fancies doing something on her own. So I'm going to assist. Poppy's going to show her recipe to you guys. So get started.
Yeah, so
So,
first I'm going to get the pumpkin seed.
pumpkin seeds. Right, so you've got a little tip, haven't you, for the pumpkin seeds?
Yeah, I've got a
I'll get the water. So tell the viewers what we're going to do and why.
We're going to soak them in boiling water because when we put them, because we're going to put them on the top of the muffins. Because when we put them in the oven so they don't burn.
Yeah, exactly. So when you put something dry on top of a muffin, so like seeds or crumble or anything, you've got to be careful because that's getting the most fierce heat. And they're already dry. So if you put dry pumpkin seeds on top of the muffin, they'll burn. Whereas with a bit of boiling water at the beginning, it means they'll be nice and soft and then they'll just crisp up in the oven. So I'll put these to one side till you need them, Pops.
So next we're going to make start the batter. So
Okay.
I'm going to get the pumpkin.
Yeah. So these are all the trimmings, aren't they?
Yeah.
And we've roasted them from your pumpkin lantern.
So-
Okay. So what are you going to mash them with?
A masher.
Right. Potato masher. Good. Right. Off we go. So a good mash. If you need some muscle, I'm here.
I don't think I will.
So you've done this loads, haven't you, with bananas?
Yeah.
Loads of times. So it's an easy switch. We're using pumpkin now, but you could use bananas all year long, no problem at all. You could use sweet potatoes. Yeah, sure. Emily's told us we have to leave the jug here, hasn't she?
Yeah, we can't
Right, can you
move
get
it.
me a knife? And I'll just scrape this out. That's it. Yeah, I'm just going to scrape this out. Doesn't need to be 100% smooth, does it?
Yeah, it's just got, because then sometimes
break it
with
up a bit.
bananas you like a little, like lumps of banana.
Yeah.
So that's what I've done before.
Is that enough?
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Right, let me scrape that back out for you, and then you can carry on with your recipe. There we go. All right. Okay.
I'm going to add the butter now.
So this is softened butter, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's really important to have it at room temperature because it will amalgamate and mix together much easier than if it was cold. But if you were chucking it all into a mixer, it would probably do it.
It does.
Right, off you go. That's it.
And it's just easier to mix if it's softened.
Yeah, of course. What's next?
Sugar.
Right, shall I pass you the sugar?
I'm using light brown sugar and dark brown sugar.
So 2 different sugars to get more depth of flavour, get it a bit more caramelly, I think, really. But you could just use standard sugar if you haven't got both. Okay. So what are you doing now? Just mixing it all together?
Just mix the sugar.
Good.
I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of ginger.
Okay.
And 1 teaspoon of bicarb.
Okay. And then what goes in next?
I'm going to mix that first.
All right.
And then I will add the flour.
Flour next, is it?
Yep.
When do the eggs go in?
After the flour.
Oh, okay, right.
And because I've got to add milk too. Mm-hmm.
It's killing me, stood here doing nothing.
No.
I'm not very good at this. She's doing well. It's a raising agent. So it's going to react with the acidity. Usually bicarbs react with acidity, and that's when they start to... You know, when you put vinegar and bicarb together, it bubbles. That's bicarb and acid. And that's, the acidity causes it to expand.
So now I'm going to crack the eggs in.
Good.
How many eggs are you adding?
2.
Room temperature eggs as well. More elastic, more air in there, more lift. In we go. Do we need to sieve the flour or?
I've already sieved it.
Okay.
When I weighed it out.
There you go. She's on it. Does it look good?
Yeah.
Does it look the same as if you were doing banana?
No, because it looks a bit like darker because
All
of the
right.
pumpkin.
Well, we put... No, flour. Milk last.
Okay. Now I'm going to add the flour.
Okay. What kind of flour?
Self-raising flour.
Good. See, I've got nothing to do, you see. It's a race between me and you, Emily.
Who's going
So self-raising flour in, and then milk last, because you will adjust the milk according to the hydration levels of your pumpkin. Because pumpkin's got quite a lot of water in it, and you need to just make that adjustment. So if I just give you a little drip in there, how much milk was it in total?
3 tablespoons.
3 tablespoons. So you might find you don't need that much, but you might use it.
I think...
You're looking for a texture now, aren't you? So
Yeah.
it looks like your banana muffins. How are we doing? A bit more?
a tiny bit.
There we go. So 2 tablespoons we've used, which is fine. That's what it's all about. Because ingredients are often different. Pumpkin will do the same job as a banana. It's sweet, it's got a texture, it's velvety, but it's slightly higher water content. So that's why we need slightly less milk. Are we good?
Yeah.
Right. So we've got the big 6-hole deep muffin tin, and I've put these cases in, which look a little bit small, but by the time you fill them, they'll expand in, won't they?
Yeah.
So you're going to get a spoon.
And a teaspoon.
And a teaspoon. Use 2 spoons to get it in. Good
Yeah.
call. So if we do that, is that all right, Emily? Yeah? All right, off you go. So we're going to divide the mixture by all of them, because normally it would make 12 smaller muffins, wouldn't it? But we're making 6 big uns.
And then we'll put the sunflower seeds on. No, pumpkin seeds.
See that big orange thing over there?
Yeah.
It's a pumpkin. It's not a sunflower. I told you, you keep saying it and you'll remember the wrong thing, not the right thing.
Well, I started saying it and now I can't. Now
I'll bring your pumpkin seeds in as well, because they are cool enough to handle now, but they're soft because they've been hydrated. So we know they're going to still look really nice, otherwise they go a bit bitter.
So would you do that with, so like how you can top a cake with oats and other seeds and things like that? Is that the same?
I tend to put a little bit of water in with them, because otherwise they are just going to scorch on the top. And usually when things like that scorch, they tend to go quite bitter. Whereas with this, they're just going to keep they're going to look nice and colourful and luscious and green, and they're going to be crisp and crunchy, not bitter and brittle.
When I do my banana muffins, I add oats on the top.
Yeah, you like oats. Well, we've done a video recipe for you, haven't we, already, with your banana bread?
Oh yeah, we did.
We did.
And we did add oats.
Yeah.
I'm nearly done.
Mm-hmm.
How long do these take to bake in the oven?
20-25 minutes.
We good?
Yeah.
Could be breakfast muffins, these, couldn't they?
I've had them for
Yeah?
breakfast before.
Should we just get a tiny little bit more? I think these
Yeah.
would have done 7, wouldn't they? Which is unfortunate because you don't get muffin tins with 7 holes. Yet.
Yeah.
Yet. Why buy 6 when you can get 7? No, it'll be fine. Right, so you're going to put your pumpkin seeds on.
Yeah.
So the water's cooled down enough now for you just to... What I would do is just lift them like that and then just pop them on like that. Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Looks good. Seeds are really, really good for you as well. So adding that sort of bit of nutrition as well is no bad thing. So what temperature is the oven at?
180.
180 degrees. Okay. So can you remember what to do if people want the recipe?
No.
So if you want the recipe for Poppy's pumpkin muffins, scan the QR code along the bottom or go to masterclass.co and you'll find the recipe there. All our recipes from this is episode 48. So we've got loads of recipes there for you and we've got some amazing episodes to come. We've got a guest next week who you will all know who's got 3 dogs, so stay tuned for that one. You're very excited about that, aren't you?
Yeah.
Right, get your muffins in.
Okay.
So they're going to bake for 20 to 25 minutes and then once they're golden and delicious, out they come. If you wanted to add another dimension of flavour, brush a little bit of melted marmalade on there to give them a nice shine. A little bit of orange flavour would work really well. But thank you very much for joining us. We hope you have an amazing weekend, a lovely Halloween. Stay nice and safe. Eat loads of pumpkin. Thank you very much.